Okay. All right. Okay. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. Now, whatever way you're seated, whether you're seated on a chair, which I invite you to remain seated in your chair. Go ahead and remain seated in your chair. Have your feet firmly planted, okay? And you can place your hands palms down on your knees. And I'll invite, whether you're seated on the floor, for those that maybe catch this as a recording, Tammy, making sure we've got a bit of height under our hips. Because what we actually want to explore is the placement of our pelvis. So just kind of roll this pelvis under, rock it forward. Just kind of notice how much room you have for moving the pelvis, the hips under. Tip and tuck the hips. And then look for the place, if this is a bowl, where is your bowl held upright?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's, you get to determine that. Now, that often means if we're seated in a chair, we're not leaning back, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. You can always, I'll place the blanket where you can reach it. You can always tuck a blanket behind your back, if that will be helpful for helping you to remain upright. See how that feels. Is that too far, too big? Or is that going to be helpful? Right? Because if you kind of, what would be useful? Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it just roll that pelvis forward and back until you find a place where, like, if your pelvis, like I have a tendency, if I'm not paying attention, I'll sit like this, like kind of like pushing my ribs forward, and then my back gets tight because like my bowl is tipping too far forward. And then other people, we often slouch, and then the bowl of my pelvis is tipping back, right? So what we're doing is we're exploring, okay, if I'm gonna sit in an intentional way, do so by placing the pelvis in it. The pelvis is in a neutral position. Place your hands down onto your thighs, palms down, thumbs pulled gently in. Okay. And then think about growing tall up above the bowl of your hips, like up above so you're trying to stack the belly right over top of the center of your pelvis. And then try to put the center of your heart right over top the center of your belly. See what it feels like to try to bring the center of your throat over top the center of your heart. Okay, now we're probably finding our body's got some tensions. Okay, that's okay. And then think about the center of your palate, or the center of your over top the center of your throat. Okay. And then grow tall, extending upwards through the crown, and feel a sense of grounding through the center of the pelvis. Now allow yourself to perhaps close your eyes or lower your eyelids a little bit to allow yourself to turn inwards and just notice your breath. Breath in and out, just noticing. Just let your mind rest on the awareness of your breath as you gently release the tension from your shoulders, from your face, at the same time as gently elongating the spine, become restful around that effort. I invite you to bring your hands together so the palms meet, and lower the palms down until you feel the center of the palms make a firm connection. So just kind of lower the wrists down until you feel the center of the palms make a connection. Once again, connecting to the length of the spine. Notice how the center of your palms now create, through their meeting, a circle right back into the heart. Let your awareness drop into your own heart center as you observe your breath. Let's begin with 3 ohms. We'll breathe out together, breathe all the way out. Breathing in, and we'll chant. Om. Om. Observing the breath for a few moments. I invite you to set an intention for your practice today, an intention for a way of being, or perhaps a dedication of your practice to yourself or to someone or other. And then just letting your hands lower down towards and just letting yourself come back into the awareness of the room and your senses at a pace. Staying with your breath. Now, I think what we'll do is let's reserve the Shanmukhi or the Yoni Mudra with the closing of the gates of the senses for somewhere near the end of our practice today as a bit of a meditation before our rest. Okay. What it does is it closes off the gates of the senses, meaning we're allowing ourselves to turn inwards. Right? The mind is not interacting with the external world, it's now going in to explore the subtle world, the self. And you're right. And so when we come together in these moments at the beginning of our practice and we chant an Om, what that's doing is it's saying out loud our intention to elevate, to rise to a new place of consciousness, of more awareness, greater consciousness. So as we move through our movements today, let's use that as our intention. We're looking to bring consciousness and awareness into what we're experiencing, not necessarily to change what is. We're simply observing what it means to move and what it feels like to move.
Yeah, so
That's all.
it's in the beginning, you in the work, no?
Right.
You look at the work. It's like yourself as a balloon becoming smaller, and then you trying to expand the balloon.
Yeah, that's right, right. Exactly. Our consciousness is
Yes.
expanding.
So when you expand your balloon, you extend your consciousness throughout the universe.
That's true. It's true. And one pathway of doing that is by going pratyahara, which is to go inwards, to study inwards. So through some movements, let's start to do that. So what I'll invite you to do is kind of move yourself forward on your seat just a little. Make sure that you're getting to a place where we're wiggling. We're going to move through what we'll call spinal waves or cats and cows. So it's important that when we're moving through the spine that we start from a tall space, so that firmness below the navel, neutral pelvis, and then we're going to move through, we're going to take the spine by rolling forward and arching. We're going to breathe in, gently squeezing the shoulders behind us, and this moves the back into an arch. Exhale, curl the tail under. Your hands on your knees can help you create a bit of an anchor as you round the spine. Inhale through the nose, you're going to lengthen, move the whole spine through a gentle arch. Exhale out through the nose, move the whole spine, rounding the spine. Now you can move your consciousness from the tailbone all the way up, every vertebrae up to the base of the skull. Start the movement with the tail. Curl the tail under, round. Start with the tail, inhale, lift the tail up. Move your mind up and the spine with every movement. Start with the tail, breathe out. Start with the tail, breathe in. Just notice what it feels like. There's 4 sections of the spine. The lower back where the tailbone curls under, that's the sacrum, and then there's the lower back, which is right above the pelvis, soft in the spot, that's really tender, tight. It has a lot of movement available to it in this more than other parts. The upper part of the back is where the rib cage, the shoulders, okay? There's less movement in the thoracic spine available like this, but we want to make sure we're trying to notice that part of our spine. And then our neck is really easy to move in this way, right? Like that section of our back through here. I just want to be aware of trying to notice how it feels to move every part of the spine in this way. When we are seated and doing this, we have to remember that we have to stay tall and strong through the movement. We're not collapsing or crunching. We're using the strength of our core to keep space, even as we move the vertebrae, the spine in this way. Okay. And then I invite you to come back into, now you might be notice that you can come into a more neutral spine. So you check where the pelvis is, get it nice and neutral. Stack all of your centers. Relax your shoulders, your face, and just take a few breaths and notice how you might feel after the practice.
Yeah.
It's just take a moment. Okay. Now we're going to move through the lateral flexion of the spine, but we're going to start to bring the shoulders into it as well. So starting with the right arm, you're going to inhale, you're going to raise, so the palms are facing out, you're going to raise it up. And then keep length in the spine. You can keep your hand on your chair there, or to help support you, you're just going to lean over and bring this flexion, this shape to the spine. Use your in-breath to come back. Release the arm with your out-breath. Other arm. So because we're adding, there's obviously we're going to feel this in the shoulder, but I want you to also be aware that you're moving your spine, the vertebrae, so that the sides, if you were looking at my vertebrae inside my body here, the bones of my back, the side that is here is closing and the side here is opening, right? So inhale, come up, stay tall as you come up. And then be sure that you're moving the vertebrae to close, you're curving them in a C. You're closing one side, opening the other. But of course, we're going to be feeling this in the muscles of our shoulder, our sides, right? So that's where we're going to feel some rotation. Connect to your breath and see if you can start to move just with enjoying the movement. Stay tall and strong as you go. Connect to your breath. Let's go one more round. When you're feeling that's balance from side to side, come back through the center. Now, the movements that we just did, those cats and cows, that will sometimes bring a sense of balance back after we've worked from the side. So if you move through round the back, arch the back, that might bring a sense of rebalance back
Yeah.
after that. So just do that as a moment. And then let your, like, just to check and bring a sense of balance back into your body. And then grow tall, relax, and turn inwards to notice what remains, what came from that practice for you. So we're now going to move through twists. Move your feet just a little bit forward, Norman, and get them so they're parallel to each other, like so that they're this way, not turning out. Yes, okay, good. And a little further apart. Okay, so I'm just gonna have so what I'm gonna ask you to do, because I'm gonna ask you to bring your feet more like this and to really make sure you can feel your feet. Right, like, so if you have to come forward in your seat a little bit to really feel your feet, I want you to be just using that as an anchor. That's an important part, because when we're seated here, the knees are the anchor.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so Tammy knows the deal, right? If the knees don't come down, we bring something up to the knees.
Yeah.
Right, because that's the anchor. And when we're in a chair here, the feet on the anchor. So now from here we grow tall. And we're going to move through rotation. So we're taking the spinal column through rotation. Now we have to sort of think about the higher you come up in the spine, the more rotation there is. Okay. So we want to actually start with the lower spine. And we're just going to start moving, say, here first, then through here, then through here, then my neck. Right? And then I'm going to come out of that. And when we go in the other direction, I'm going to lead through the lower part of the spine. Then I'm going to go up the spine because I know there'll be more rotation. But I'm creating, and just find your breath, you're creating solidity and stability with the lower part of the twist. And then you're taking the upper part of the spine around in its rotation. Go ahead and flow and feel just what's going on in your body. Your hands can come across to help you, but don't pull. And really try to be moving from this tall, upright position. Now, one more time. Okay, just finding what feels like it's balanced for you there. Come back through to center. We usually need something to bring a sense of balance back. So then this movement, rounding and arching the spine gently, making sure we're not using only one part of the back, but we're bringing that movement through the whole spine. Being aware and breathing and come back into neutral. We just allow ourselves to pause and breathe and notice. How are we doing? How are we feeling?
Yeah.
Feeling okay?
I feel that there's a flow in my
I got some blood flow coming now.
there's a flow in my right and left arm.
Wonderful. I love to hear them. Okay. All right. So that is through the spine. Before we start to work our way to coming up off the chair, I want to come to our neck and our shoulders a little bit. Tammy, because we've been seated cross-legged, kick your legs out, give yourself a little bit of a bump. And you can too, like give yourself roll your ankles out, give yourself a little break there. You know, you can tap your feet on the floor, get some blood flow in there. And Tammy, when we go to cross our legs, let's cross them in the awkward way, and you'll keep your feet flat. Okay. All right. And then again, you want to feel your feet. You want to balance the pelvis so that we're growing tall. My teacher always, and in the Kaivalya Dhamma Institute, which is through Swami Kaivalyananda, that right? He did studies on proper breathing, and when we are wanting to breathe well, we need to have a sense of firmness below our navel, right here. And if the pelvis is like this, right, or like this, we don't get proper breath. And we can't move from a position like this with neutral, right? So you have to, right, we have to start here. So now we're gonna come into the neck. Now, when we start to move the neck through its rotation, we're gonna focus on just through the neck. We need to create this firmness and then stack the center of our belly over top, the center of our heart over top, try to bring the center of our throat over top of the center of our heart. So we're drawing the chin back. And it's almost like we're kind of leaning back in space. And that's going to help us to get the neck is in as neutral a position as possible, right? And then we move. So we're going to move just by lifting the, by breathing in and lifting the chin up. Exhale, breathing out, bringing the chin down. Now, everyone is going to have different kinds of feelings in their neck. Keep space in the vertebrae, so we're not collapsing or crunching into the back of the neck or the front of the throat, but we're moving through this, noticing what it feels like to move the head through this range of motion. We meet our edges softly, and we don't push past edges in our practices. That creates a sense of tension. Instead, we notice where these the edges are, whatever they are, might change from day to day. Maybe it's tension, discomfort. And just notice, present, and breathe. Now bring the chin back into a neutral position, and then start to work through a no. So you're taking the head from side to side, noticing again where you feel anything, notice, just be curious, breathe, move. Side to side. When you're ready, come back through to neutral. Okay, and then give yourself a little break, roll your shoulders out, give yourself a settle. Okay, and then take a moment to check in and notice how you're feeling. And I'm going to give you a quick visual of the next movement, just so you've seen it before we do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do another neck movement. They're the same simple thing of yes and no. But what we're going to do is we're going to tip our head over to one side. Now, what we aren't going to do is lift the shoulder. So relax the shoulder, keep the shoulder relaxed. And when you tip the head over, you're just going over to where it feels comfortable. And you're going to go through yes, right, from that position, and you'll go through no. But let's start together. So come into neutral. Okay, relax your shoulders and get tall. Now, without lifting your right shoulder, drop your ear over towards the right, just as far as it goes. That's good. Okay. And then moving in a range of motion that works well for you, say yes with your head. Yeah. Breathe and notice you're paying attention to your body. Move slowly. And then with the head tipped over to the side like this, say no. Okay. Now come back up, breathe in to lift the head back up. Okay. Take a moment to notice what you might need. Maybe you need like head and no yes shakes, right? Maybe you just need a little wobble. Give yourself a moment to settle in and then let your ear drop to the left side, but don't lift the shoulders. You're going to drop over in the other direction. Okay. And then when you're ready, just gentle yes. Feel and notice you're moving in what works for your body. And then say a gentle no. And come back through the center. Breathe in to lift your head up, grow tall. Okay. And then let's do a few yes and no, like up and down, side to side here in the middle. Okay. And then you might find that you want maybe this cat and cow spinal movement just to release the tensions from your body. Okay. And then come back into center and just take a moment to notice. Now, Tammy, you and I are just going to fold forward in this position. Now bring your feet a little more forward on the floor just to provide support. Go ahead and let yourself bring your elbows down onto your knees. You're gonna put your elbows down on your knees, both elbows on your knees and lean forward. Perfect. Now, if you've got the room to start to drop your hands towards your feet, you could take your hands to your feet. So go ahead and bring your hands to your feet if you like. Yeah, just leaning forward just as far as you like. And you can use your elbows to support you and just take a moment to just fold and breathe. Feel the gentle stretch in your back. Tammy, you and I will press into our hands. Norman, press into your feet. Bring your hands to your thighs and breathe in to come up. Okay. Tammy, go ahead and unfold your legs and get some blood flow in your legs. Roll your ankles out. I'm going to keep an eye on our time here. Okay. All right. So let's go on up to standing here and get some blood flow going on in our body. So I invite you to come to standing. All right, so Tammy, I'm just gonna tip this up a little bit, but I think your camera's got me in there. Okay, so you can come onto the mat if you'd like, and if you're feeling like your balance is a little off, you can keep the chair nearby. And let's just give the feet a little shake out. Now, one of the things that we're gonna try and do, and actually I'll just bring the chair here so you don't have to fight with your balance here, Norman, just put your hand on the chair there. Is to try and shake the foot and loosen the ankle. Like kind of like you're trying to like not move the ankle, shake it. Let the ankle be relaxed and try to shake it, right? And then you can go from foot to foot so your leg doesn't get tired. Right? Just shake the foot out. Just try to get it wobbling. And notice that we're getting some blood flow there. And then do the same thing. Try to get your calf muscle shaking. Try to get the calf muscle to shake. And just shake it. Okay. I once threw a shoulder out doing this, so be gentle. And then see if you can get your knees wobbling gently, right? Just what feels okay.
Yeah.
But you're trying to relax the knee a little, just to kind of get the tissues wobbling. And then bring that wobble up into the thigh. Try to get the thigh wobbling. Okay. And then we can like kind of work on 2 feet and try and get our butt to wobble. That's right. A little bit of this, that's right. And then, just try to bring that up and now bring it into the hands, get the hands going. And get the arms shaking. Okay, and then we can, if our balance is okay, we can wobble our head at the same time. But if that's gonna make you dizzy, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then now try to get it all shaking all at once. Just shake, shake, shake. Just try to get it all shaking. It's okay that one looks silly. No one is watching. Oh, right?
What they call that tandavat.
Kinda. Okay, but then notice now. So now we're gonna take a moment and we're gonna stand on our feet. Now get your feet, get your stance strong. And try to get your feet, they can be brought wider apart or closer together, whatever feels okay, but somewhat parallel. And then try to get the weight well balanced on the feet. Be aware of the pelvis and get it neutral and then grow tall. And then just notice how there is a vibration, a Shakti now that is flowing in our awareness. Now we're going to move through some arm movements here. So we want to be well balanced on our feet, a bit of softness in our knees. Okay, and we're growing tall. Let's start with exploring how we're going to bring some freedom of movement into the shoulder girdle. And the way we move our arms really changes what happens inside the shoulder joint. So with our fingers pointing straight down, okay, bring your arms straight forward. Keep your spine nice and strong, stay tall. Bring your arms up as far as you can without raising your shoulders like this, right?
Yeah.
Just as far as they'll come up, and just notice. And then exhale. You can soften your knees, just take them back as far as you can go without changing your posture, right? So we're just exploring the movement of the arm in this motion. Inhaling, coming up. Okay, but don't let the neck come forward. We want to keep our spine, like we want to keep, like this is the position that this part of our body stays in. So get yourself tall, bring your neck back. And now move the shoulders here. Inhale through the nose as you come up. Exhale as you go back. You're just noticing, the different restrictions, spaces, maybe from side to side. Good. Now, okay, come back and you can wobble it out. Give yourself a break. Yeah, that's right. Let it flow. Okay. And then take a moment to notice, okay, here's how my shoulder and my neck feel. Do I have more freedom to stand tall? Okay. Now we're going to change the movement a little, and we're going to take our thumbs and we're going to point them out at a 45-degree angle out towards the corners of the room. And we're going to raise our arms up as if to the corners of the room. Thumbs going up. And then we're going to exhale, we're going to come back. Okay, and we're going to take our pinky fingers, we're going to send them out to the back corners of the room, but we're not going to change our posture. Remember, we're going to stay tall. So it doesn't matter how far the arms go. We're just exploring what it feels like to take them in this manner, right? So it's like we're creating a little X shape. And you'll notice that it maybe feels a little different inside the shoulder joint or the arm.
Yeah.
Right? And that's because the angle that we take the arm up, so we're creating the angle of the joint by rotating the hand and by the angle that we take the arm up. So it changes the joint space slightly. Okay? So come back down, give that a moment, and then just let yourself settle. Wobble in, release any tensions. And then notice how everything is feeling. Okay. Now we're going to turn the palms out as far as we can, and we're going to come up from the sides. So we're going to inhale, and we're going to palms up, and the palms end up facing towards each other, right? Right? And then we exhale, we come back down. Okay, so that feels quite a bit different, right? So focus on getting strong and comfortable in your stance in Tadasana. So feel the belly come in, create some strength, create a sense of length and connection through the feet to the crown. And then when you're moving, you're just moving the arms, just noticing what it feels like, where you've got to go. Go ahead and release from there. Woo. It's funny how these can be so like, what's going on in there, right? Okay.
So that slow motion is like Tai Chi, no?
We are paying attention.
Yeah,
It is about attention.
yeah,
In intention, how present.
attention. Because when you do the Tai Chi, yeah, it's a slow motion also. Like that.
And you're perceiving an energy, right? And I love it. I wish I could live in this world with it. So in this, what we're doing, when we're working with the prana, so there's, so like the way the yogic perspective through the yogic practices, prana is life itself. Chi is life. Prana is life.
Yeah.
Everything is, it only exists because prana exists,
Prana.
right? It only exists because prana exists. But there's the big P prana that is everywhere. And every time I inhale, it rides into my body.
Yeah.
And it separates into various channels and becomes the life forces that animate my body. So when I am breathing and moving, I am aware of the greater life force that is all around me, that is now within me. It is never separate. It's like I'm the wave and that is the ocean.
Yeah.
The wave, prana rolls in and it has an experience of being me, and then it goes back out into the ocean and it's everything again, right? So that's what's happening here. Okay, so as we're doing this too, we're becoming very aware of the restrictions of prana in the body. We start to notice the tenderness and the sore spots, or the spots that we can't feel. Okay, but then we notice when we start to feel blood flow, energy, that is it breaking free and making space, making it into the body. How is your shoulder feeling? How's your arm feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling good? Any tenderness?
Tenderness.
Any sore?
No.
Tammy, you feeling okay?
Yeah.
Tammy's feeling okay? Okay, so I want to do a stretch. I want to do a stretch from this position. So I'm going to take a moment and I want you to really just observe for half a second so that I can give you the visual. Tammy, we did this on Thursday last week. Okay, so the palms are going to come up and they're going to be facing forward like this. Okay, and you don't have to come up yet. But what I want you to do is to focus on one of the things that we tend to do. You can drop your arms for now and I'll give you a show. And Tammy, you know you do this, so I'm going to give you a visual, okay? What we often do is when we go to stretch in this way, what we actually do is change here. So it ends up looking like this.
Yeah.
Okay? So instead, what we have to do is we have to use our feet as the grounding point. The pelvis is the next anchor. The pelvis, so that same movement that we did on the chair, okay, we need to figure out, okay, where is my bowl of my pelvis most neutral? And then when we raise the arms up, now we're not necessarily going to get the arms straight up. They might be more like this. That's okay. But the intention is that we're reaching up and lengthening. And you think of an upside down triangle from the pelvis up through the shoulders, and you are making that triangle so long, right? The triangle is getting so long, but you have to also reach down. The point of the triangle reaches down, the wide angle reaches up. Okay, and we're gonna,
And it's up and the lower part is
reaching down. That's right. That's right. And now we're gonna do this, and let's go ahead and take our arms up. Now take time, because we've chosen the angle of our shoulder girdle. Find your feet, and now be aware of creating this length. You're lengthening the triangle in and out through the nose, steady breath. It's reaching, reaching. Taller, I bet you can. Longer, longer. Reach, reach, reach. Go ahead and release the arms down mindfully. And notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Let that lay down. I see you want to do the same thing. Hey, like the,
You know that anchoring, that is in Aikido.
And Aikido. Okay. So many of these practices.
That's why in Aikido, if your concentration is downward, people could hardly lift you up.
You get so anchored.
Yeah,
That's what do we call it?
they could hardly lift you up. People could not lift you up if you're anchored.
If you're anchored, I love that.
Yeah,
We have a word for that in one of the cities. It's a power to make
Yeah.
yourself as heavy as
Yeah.
a mountain.
yeah.
So speaking of power, let's actually work on it. So I want to do, we're going to work our way down towards the floor here shortly, but I want to take a moment to actually assess our hip strength today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to notice what it feels like to shift what happens in our body. And you've got the mirror, Tammy. I don't know if you have a mirror or not, but you'll notice when you shift your weight forward in your foot, and then you shift your weight back. Watch yourself in the mirror, Norman, there, and just notice, like, just by shifting the body weight forward and back, notice how much movement happens in the rest of the body. So all you're doing is just moving body weight in your feet, right? And then when you move from side to side, notice how much you sway from side to side. Like, watch yourself in the mirror. Now, what happens if we decide we are not going to lean or sway? Okay, so watch yourself in the mirror, and you're going to try to float your left foot. And you can use the chair for balance or the wall for balance. You're going to try and float your left foot without leaning. Okay, so you have to get strong. Okay, so first, strong feet, strong through the feet. Now let's put our body weight now, shifting our weight over into the left foot, but we're going to try to not lean. We're going to try to get taller. Okay. And then, if we can raise this knee right up. Okay. Now, take a moment, challenge your balance, but stay strong through the standing leg. Get taller, taller, taller. Reach, lengthen the triangle. And then slowly lower it down. And oh my goodness, your body is going to need a little break. Shake it out. Anytime you shake it out. Nicely. Okay. And now we'll do the other leg, right? So take the time, find your weight into your feet. Now we want to balance the weight between the front and the back nicely, a little more into the heel because the heel is the center, right, of that. Okay, but the center of the foot is where we are aware. And now we're going to shift our weight into the other leg and try to not lean. You're going to try and get taller instead. And then once you've created that, then you can try to float. Yeah, and it's about strong feet, strong hips. And try to challenge your balance. Tammy, it's like we're trying to step up onto like a big box.
Yeah.
And then lowering down. Oh, shake that out. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So what this is going to ask of us is to remember that when we are walking, this butt muscle right here, its job is to keep us from walking like this. Right? We are not going to get old and walk like old people. No, no. We're going to stay tall because we have strong hips. It's our hips that keep us from going ink, ink, ink. Right? We have strong hips. We're going to be strong as we walk.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing we should do is we should stretch out our hamstrings. So what I'm going to do, Tammy, you probably don't need it, but if you wanted to turn towards your bed and use your bed as a place to hang out, you sure can. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you up here with the chair in front of you. Okay. Now watch that your socks don't slip. Tammy, if you've got socks on, you want to take them off. Take your feet out a little wider. But your toes are pointing forward. Okay. And be sure that your knees are happy with what you're up to. Okay. Okay, so you can, yeah, and just watch your socks don't slip. So we're gonna keep the legs straight though. We're gonna straighten the legs. You're going here. Which is why the toes go forward, because we're gonna straighten the legs and you can keep the knees soft. Now send your hips back in space and put your hands to the chest. You can drop them to the chair, seat, or you can easily, and right, and you're just gonna take a moment and enjoy opening up the backs of your legs. Enjoy that stretch. Now feel the strength of your feet to the ground. And then think about lengthening out. Now, if your hands, you can start to drop your hands down lower if you've got the room. You don't have to, right? But then maybe just if your balance feels okay, you can let your head drop so you get a sense of being upside down for just a moment. Now to come up from this, you'll bring your gaze forward, you put your hands on the chair or the bed, and then just come up with a gentle knee bend. Now, as you come up, your back might need a little stretch. And then you can come back, step your feet together, and notice how you feel. Shake out your legs. So we're gonna now start to prepare to come down to the floor. And when we come down to the floor, I'm gonna give you a quick demo here. I'm gonna give you the chair. And when you come down to the floor, you can drop your knee. We drop it onto that blue cushion. So you come down into here, here, and then to the floor. Okay. So, and that way you can protect your knees as you come down. Sure, just let it be with you there. This will be a nice thing, and that'll give us an idea of that. Place your hands on there and just bring your knees down onto the cushion. Whatever works for you. Other way. Breathe in. Can we breathe? We're going to get back up from here, I promise. And then you can just maybe come down to your hips.
Cannot bend more.
There's no bending more. This is as much as they bend right now.
This is the maximum.
This is the maximum. Now, do you want to attempt to come down to your bum?
I could not.
You could not bring that, but this is, look at you, you got this far. So we're going to come back up and you will do your rest on your chair.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what you'll do is you'll bring one knee forward or 1 foot forward. Okay. Good, good. Okay. Press into the chair and your foot at the same time.
In my right foot.
Yeah, you're going to press into here. Press into the chair and your foot at the same time. So come up. Breathe in. There you go. This, okay, I feel like we just did some pretty important yoga.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay, so if ever you get into trouble and you're on the floor, that's how to get up.
Okay.
Shake out what you've got there.
What's that?
You're gonna shake out what you got there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you to sit for our rest, okay? Instead of coming to the floor. And what we can do now, as you, that was tender, hey? That was sore, I can see that one was really sore. So we've now discovered that we're gonna work on the chair for now.
Yeah.
And then maybe in a few weeks, we can look at trying that again and see how it feels.
Yeah.
Because I can see that you're gonna pay for that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay? So love on the knees, bring them so that you feel comfortable. Place your feet onto maybe some height. There. Okay. I'm going to tuck this behind you so that you're able to, or maybe that's maybe be better. So you can rest. Let's see.
It's like physiotherapy.
Like what?
It's physiotherapy. Physiotherapy. Physiotherapy.
Physiotherapy.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? My mom's a physiotherapist. Would you believe?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess there's a way for me to turn these lights down a little bit more, so I'm gonna try that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so let's actually, Tammy, if you're seated here, let's do the Shanmukhi Mudra first. And then we'll just move into a quiet rest. Okay. And now, so this is the stage of the class, so I'm coming to the floor and laying on the ground is so delicious. So you can do this at home later if you want on a bed or on the couch, right? But the final part of the class is the opportunity for us um, to actually practice the turning inward.
Mhm.
Okay, so the intention is not necessarily to sleep, but instead to invite the mind to no longer interact with everything around us and to start to turn towards that inner place.
Mhm.
So the mudra that you learned, I don't know if this is what you would have learned, but this does come from letters from the yoga masters. I'll have to go find. Yeah, I'll have to go find who it was that wrote to Hari about it because it is in my teacher's book. But so the way that this works, and Tammy, I know it's a little dark in here, but I'll turn up just a little. The fingers, the 5 fingers are the 10 gates.
Mhm.
They close the gates of the senses. So the senses, of course, move outwards through the ears, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, and the skin, right? So what we're doing is we're going to close those gates, and we're going to chant the sound of Om for a couple of rounds, maybe let's say like 6 to 9 rounds. And when you feel like you're ready for silence, you're just going to drop your hands and move into silence. Tammy will stay in that place for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and then you could move to Shavasana, to the ground. Okay. So the thumbs, now I have fingernails, longer fingernails, so I can't stick them right in my ears. And don't stick them in your ears yet because you need to hear me. But eventually, what you will do is you will close your ears.
Yeah.
Okay. Then your index fingers will close your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then your middle fingers symbolically close your nose. Symbolically, because if you actually close your nose, you won't be able to chant or breathe for that matter. And then the two last fingers hold the mouth symbolically because we're chanting closed. Okay. And then, perhaps after 6 or so chants of Om, I invite you to keep the mudra for a little bit and just enjoy the energy of having those gates closed for a little while. Enjoy the idea of the mind does not need to go out into the world.
Yeah.
It can rest in and on itself for a little while. Okay. Okay, so let's do this together. You're gonna close the ears, close the eyes with the index finger, close the nose with the middle finger, close the mouth with the other 2 fingers, and we will begin. Om. Om. You can let your hands rest in your lap, your eyes closed. Just continue to follow the invitation to move inward. Invite you to lay down the last 5 or so minutes, relaxing our bodies deeply, observing a natural, uncontrolled flow of our breath, and letting ourselves rest for the time. In a gentle deepening of your breath, let your mind Go out and explore where your body is in space in this room and start to interact with your senses consciously, noticing. Begin to move in small mindful ways as you awaken. And if you are laying down, you can have a stretch. If you're seated, a stretch might unfold. And for those laying down, work their way slowly towards their side. Position. And once again, we're just going to take a moment to be present and to be tall in our seat and to notice how we feel. I invite you to bring your hands together again in heart center, just once again to connect with your palms of your hands into one another and feel that circle, that connection that you made. Connecting into your own highest awareness of yourself, our ability to expand our consciousness. And I'll finish here with a quote from my teacher once. If I am a spirit expressing myself through form, the question I will ask myself today is, how do I wish to express myself? To each of you, I offer you my gratitude for the time that you have dedicated to yourselves, for joining together in our practices. Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
I'm gonna stop the recording there, my dear.